Hi, my name is Andrew Acevedo, or Mr. A to the kids. I've directed this production of The Tempest. We've been at it about 3 months now, just working away at it, going through the language, going through the movement, going through all the stuff that is Shakespeare and all the stuff that is The Tempest. This is the original Shakespearean language. You're not going to hear anything modern, you're going to hear all Shakespearean English. It's been cut for time and for content, so it's a very fun play. There's a lot of stuff going on. 7th graders have worked so wonderfully hard. Miss Hall has been so wonderful. And there have been so many people that have come in that I'd like to thank. Kaylee, my wonderful stage manager, Eugene, our sound guy, the Dreesbox, Matt, and Lance have just been so wonderful to come on to this project. To the parents in the audience, I want to say thank you for your children. They've worked so hard. And so whenever you hear something funny, whenever you hear a big moment in the show, feel free to laugh. They want to hear that they're doing well because they've worked so hard, and I've just seen them and I love the work they're doing. So, let me stop gushing. Take this time to turn off your cell phones, or at least put them on vibrate. I hear we don't get great reception here, but it always happens that when you think you're not going to have it, you do. So yes, enjoy. This is a wonderful story about forgiveness and family and friendship and what all of that means. So I hope you all come away a little bit more edified by tonight's performance.
Here, master, what cheer? Good, speak to the manners, fall to it, yarly, or we run ourselves aground, bestir, bestir. Hey, my hearts, cheerly, cheerly, my hearts, yeah, take in the topsail, tend to the master's whistle, blow till thy burst the wind, if room enough. Heave, ho! Heave, ho! Heave, ho!
Good boatswain, have care. Where's the master?
I pray now, keep below.
Where's the master, boatswain?
Do you not hear him? You mar our labor. Keep your cabins. You do assist the storm.
Nay, good. Be patient.
When the sea is, hence, what cares these roarers in the name of the king? To cabin, silence, trouble us no.
Good. Yet remember whom thou hast aboard?
None that I more love than myself. You are a counselor. If you can command these elements to silence and work the peace of the present, we will not hand a rope more. Use your authority. If you cannot, give thanks you have lived so long, and make ready in your cabin for the mischance of an hour, if so happen. Out of our way, I say.
I have great comfort from this fellow. Methinks he hath no drowning work upon him.
Take in the topsail. Yeah, lower, lower. Bring her to try with the main course. Ah! A plague upon this howling. They are louder than the weather or our office. Yet again? What do you hear? Shall we give more and drown? Do you have a mind to sink?
Pox your throat, you bawling, blasphemous, and charitable dog.
Work you then.
Hang cur, insolent noisemaker. We're less afraid to be drowned than thou art.
Lay a hole, set her 2 courses off to sea again. Lay her off. All lost, all lost, all lost. To the prayers, to prayers. All lost, all lost, all lost.
The king and prince of prayers. Let's assist them, for our case is as theirs.
I'm out of patience.
Really cheated of our lives.
Mercy on us. We split, we split.
Farewell, my wife and children. Farewell, brother.
We split, we split, we split.
Let's all sink with the king.
Let's take leave of him.
Now would I give 1,000 furlongs of sea for an acre of barren ground. The wills above be done, but I would fain die a dry death.
If by your art, my dearest father, you have put the wild waters in this roar, allay them. Oh, I have suffered with those that I saw suffer. A brave vessel who had no doubt some noble creature in her dashed all to pieces. Oh, the cry did knock against my very heart. Poor souls, they perished.
Be collected. No more amazement. Tell your piteous heart there's no harm done.
Oh, woe the day.
No harm. I have done nothing but in care of thee. Of thee, my dear one, thee, my daughter, who art ignorant of what thou art, not knowing of whence I am, nor that I am more better than Prospero, master of a full poor cell, and thy no greater father.
More to know did ever meddle with my thoughts.
'Tis time I should inform thee farther. lend thy hand, and pluck my magic garment from me. For thou must now no farther.
Often you have begun to tell me what I am, but stopped and left me to a bootless inquisition, concluding stay, not yet.
The hours now come. The very minute bids thee ope thine ear, obey and be attentive. Canst thou remember a time before we came unto this cell?
Certainly, sir, I can.
By what? By any other house or person? Of anything the image tells me that hath kept with thy remembrance.
'Tis far off, and rather like a dream than an assurance that my remembrance warrants.
How is it that this lives in thy mind? What seest thou else in the dark backwards and abysm of time? If thou rememberest aught ere thou camest here, how thou camest here, thou mayest.
Well, but that I do not.
12 years since, Miranda, 12 years since, thy father was the Duke of Milan, and a prince of power.
Sir, are not you my father?
Thy mother said thou wast my daughter, and thy father was Duke of Milan, and thou his only heir and princess.
Oh, the heavens! What foul play had we that we came from thence? Or blessed wast we did?
Both, my girl. By foul play, as thou sayest, were we heaved thence, but blessedly hope hither.
Oh, my heart bleeds. Please you, farther.
My brother and thy uncle, called Antonio, he whom next thyself of all the world I loved, the government I cast upon my brother, and to my state grew stranger, being transported and wrapped in secret studies. Thy false uncle. Dost thou attend me?
Sir, most heedfully.
I pray thee, mark me, I, thus neglecting worldly ends, all dedicated to the closeness and bettering of my mind, with that which, but by being so retired in my false brother, awakened an evil nature, and my trust did beget of him. A falsehood in its contrary as great as my trust was, which had indeed no limit. He was the Duke, out of the substitution and executing the outward face of royalty, with all prerogative, hence his ambition growing. Dost thou hear?
Your tale, sir, would cure deafness.
Me, poor man, he thinks me now incapable, confederates with the King of Naples to give him annual tribute, do him homage, subject his coronet to his crown, and bend to most ignoble stooping.
Oh, the heavens!
Mark his condition and the event. The King of Naples, being an enemy to me inveterate, hearkened my brother's suit, which was that he should presently extirpate me and mine out of the dukedom, and confer fair Milan with all the honors on my brother. Whereon a treacherous army, one midnight, fated to the purpose, did open the gates of Milan, and I, the dead of darkness, hurried thence, me and thy crying self.
I, not remembering how I cried out then, will cry it o'er again. It is a hint that brings my eyes to it.
Hear a little further, and then I'll bring thee on the present business which now's upon's.
Wherefore did they not that hour destroy us?
Well demanded. My tale provokes that question. Dear, they durst not. So dear the love my people bore for me. And few, they hurried us aboard a bark, bore us some leagues to sea, where they prepared a rotten carcass of a boat, not rigged, nor tackle, sail, nor mast. The very rats instinctively had quit it. There they hoist us, to cry to the sea that roared to us, and to sigh to the wind, whose pity, sighing back again, did us but loving wrong.
Heavens, what trouble was I to you then?
Oh, thou wast what did preserve me. Thou didst smile, infused with the fortitude from heaven to bear up against what should ensue.
How came we ashore?
By providence divine. Some food we had, and some fresh water, a noble Neapolitan, Gonzalo, out of his charity, did give us, with rich garments, linens, stuffs, and necessaries, which since have steadied much of his gentleness. Knowing I loved my books, he furnished me from mine own library with volumes that I prize above my dukedom.
Would I might but ever see that man.
Now I arise. Sit still and hear the last of our sea sorrow. Here in this island have we arrived, and here have I, thy schoolmaster, made thee more profit than other princesses can, that have more time and tutors not so careful.
Heavens, thank you for it. And now, for still 'tis beating in my mind, your reason for raising this sea storm?
No thus far forth, by accident most strange, bountiful fortune. Now, my dear lady, hath mine enemies brought to the shore. Here, cease more questions. Thou art inclined to sleep. 'Tis a good dullness, and give it way. I know thou canst not choose.
Come away, servant, come. I'm ready now. Approach, my Ariel, come.
All hail, great master, great sir. Hail I come to answer thy best pleasure. But to fly, to swim, to dive into the fires, to ride on the curled clouds, to thy strong bidding task, Ariel in all his quality.
Hast thou, spirit, performed to the point to the tempest that I bade thee?
To every article I boarded the king's ship, in the waist, the deck, in every cabin, I flamed amazement, Jove's lightning, more momentary. The sight our running were not, the fire and cracks of sulphurous were the more mighty Neptune, seen besage and make his bold ways tremble.
My very spirit, who was so firm, so constant, that this coil would not affect his reason?
Not a soul but felt the fever of the mad and played some tricks of desperation. All the mariners plunged into the foamy brine and quit the vessel.
Why, that's my spirit. But was this not nigh shore?
Close by, my master.
But are they, Ariel, safe?
Not a hair perished in their sustaining garments, not a blemish, but fresher than before, and as thou badest me. And troops I dispersed them about the isle. The king's son I have landed, cooling of the air with sighs.
Of the king's ship, the mariners say how thou hast disposed.
Safely in the harbors the king's ship, there she said, the mariners all under hatches sound, who with the charm joined to their suffered labor, I have left to sleep.
Ariel, thy charge, exactly is performed, but there's more work. What is the time of the day?
Past the mid-season.
At least 2 glasses. The time 'twixt 6 and must by us both be spent most preciously.
Is there more toil since thou dost gave me pains? Let me remember thee what thou hast promised, which is not yet performed to me.
How now? Moody, what didst thou canst demand?
My liberty.
Before the time be out, no more.
I pray thee, I did thee worthy service, told thee no lie, made thee no mistakes, served without a grudge or grumbling. Thou didst promise to bait me a full year.
Dost thou forget from what a torment did I free thee?
No.
Thou dost, and thinkest too much to tread the ooze of the salt deep, to run upon the sharp winds of the north, to do me business in the veins of the earth when it's baked with frost.
I do not, sir.
Thou liest, malignant thing. Didst thou forget the foul witch Sycorax?
No, sir.
Thou dost, I must once a month recount what thou hadst been, and which thou forgettest. This witch Sycorax from mischiefs manifold and sorceries argier were banished. Is this not true?
Aye, sir.
This blue-eyed hag was hither, brought with child, and was here left by sailors. Thou, my slave, as thou reportedst thyself, wast then her servant, and wast a spirit too delicate to act her earthly and aboard commands. Refusing her grand hest, she did confine thee, and in her most unmitigable rage, into a cove and pine, within which rift thou didst painfully remain. A dozen years, then was this island, save for the son that she did litter here, a freckled wild hag born, not honored with the human shape.
Yes, Caliban, her son.
A dull thing, I say so. He that Caliban, thou best knowest, from what a torment did I find thee in. Thy groans did make wolves howl, penetrate the breast of ever angry bears. It was mine art when I arrived and heard thee, the pine, the gate, and let thee out.
I thank thee, master. I'll do my correspondent to command and my spiriting gently.
Do so, and after 2 days I will discharge thee.
That's my noble master. Say what shall I do? Say what? What shall I do?
Be subject, no such but thine and mine invisible.
Awake, dear heart, awake. Thou hast slept well. Awake.
The strangeness of your story put a heaviness in me.
Shake it off. Come on, we'll visit Caliban, who never yields us kind answer.
'Tis a villain, sir, I do not love to look upon.
But as 'tis, we cannot miss him. He does fetch in our wood, make our fire, and serves in offices that profit us. What ho, Caliban? Speak! There's other business, I say. Come, thou tortoise, when? Thine apparition, my quaint Ariel, hearken thine ear.
My lord, it shall be done.
Thou poisonous Caliban, come forth.
As wicked do as ere my mother brushed, with raven's feathers from unwholesome fen, drop on you both. a southwest blow on you, and blister you all over.
For this be sure, tonight thou shalt have cramps, side stitches that shall pen thy breath up. Urchins shall, for the basking night that they may work, all exercise of thee. Thou shalt be pinched, as thick as honeycomb, each pinch more stinging than the bees that made 'em.
I must eat my dinner. The island's mine, which thou takest from me. When thou camest first, thou madest much of me. I shall be all the qualities of the isle, the fertile, the barren pit, and the barren place. Cursed be that I did so. All the charms of Sycorax light on you. Toads, beetles, bats, for I am all the subjects that you have, which was first mine own king. And here you sty me in this hard rock, keeping me from the rest of the isle.
Thou most lying knave, whom stripes may move, not kindness, I have used thee, filth as thou art, with human care, and lodged thee in mine own cell, till thou didst seek to harm my child.
Oh ho, would it been done, thou didst prevent me.
Abhorred one, I pity thee, took pains to make thee speak, taught thee each hour one thing or other. But thy vile race, though thou didst learn, good natures cannot abide to be in. So wast thou deservedly confined into this rock, who deserved more than prison.
You taught me language, and my profit on it is I know how to curse. The red plague rid you for learning me your language.
Hagseed hence! Fetch us some fuel, and be quick to answer other business. Shruggest, thou mayest, if thou neglectest, or dost unwillingly, I'll rack thee with old cramps, fill all thy bones with aches, make thee howl that beasts shall tremble at thy din.
No, pray you, I must obey. His art is of such power.
So, hence!
These yellow sands, and then take hands. Curtsied when you haven't kissed, foot it featly here and there, and sweet sprites the burthen bear. Hark, hark, the watchdogs bark, hark, hark, I hear the sound of strutting chanticleer, cry, cock-a-diddle-dow.
Where should this music be? In the air or the earth? It sounds no more, sitting on a bank, weeping again the king my father wrecked. This music crept by me upon the waters, allying their fury and my passion with its sweet air. Thence I have followed it, or it hath drawn me rather, but 'tis gone.
Full fathom 5 thy father lies.
No, it begins again.
Of his bones are coral made, those are pearls that were his eyes, nothing of them that doth fade. But doth suffer AC change into something rich and strange. Seen him sourly ring his knell? Hark, I hear them, ding dong bell.
The ditty does remember my drowned father. This is no mortal business, nor no sound that the earth owes. I hear it now, above me.
The fringed curtains of thine eye advanced, and say if thou seest yond.
What is't? A spirit? Lord, look how it looks about. Believe me, sir, it carries a brave form. But 'tis a spirit.
No, it eats, sleeps, and hath such senses as we have such. This gallant was in the wreck. Thou mightest call him a goodly person? He lost his fellows, and strays about to find them.
I might call him a thing divine, for nothing natural I ever saw so noble.
It goes on, I see, as my soul prompts it. Spirit, fine spirit, I'll set thee free within 2 days of this.
Most sure the goddess, on whom these airs attend, how I may bear me here, my prime request, which I do last pronounce, is, if you be maid or no.
No wonder, sir, but certainly a maid.
My language, heavens, I am the best of them that speak this language, where it's spoken.
How, the best? What wert thou if the king of Naples heard thee?
A single thing, as I am now, that wonders, to hear thee speak of Naples, he does hear me, and that he does, I weep, myself in Naples, who with mine eyes behold the king my father wrecked.
Alack for mercy!
Yes, faith, and all his lords, the Duke of Milan and his son being twine.
At first sight, they have changed eyes. Spirit, fine spirit, I'll set thee free for this. A word, good sir, a word. I fear you've done yourself something wrong. A word?
Why speaks my father so ungently? This is the second man that e'er I saw, and the first I e'er sighed for. Pity! Move my father to be inclined my way.
Oh, if your affection not gone forth, I'll make you queen of Naples.
Soft, sir, one more word. They are both in either's powers, but this swift business I must uneasy make. These two light winning makes the prize light. One more word, I charge thee, that thou put himself on this island as a spy, to win it for me, the Lord on't.
No, as am I, a man.
There's nothing ill can dwell in such a temple. If ill spirits have such fair a house, then good things will strive to dwell within.
Hence.
No.
What? Put thy sword up, traitor, who makest a show but dares not to strike. Thy conscience is so possessed with guilt that come from thy word, for I can here disarm thee with this stick and make thy weapon drop.
Beseech you, father.
Hence.
Oh, dear father, make not too rash a trial of him, for he is gentle and not fearful.
What? An advocate for an impostor? Hush.
So they are. My spirits, as in a dream, are all bound up. My father's loss, the weakness which I feel, the wreck of all my friends, nor this man's threats, to whom I am subdued, are but light to me. Might I, but through my prison, once a day, behold this maid, space in the king my father read.
It works. Come on.
Be of comfort, sir. My father's of a better nature than he appears by speech. This is unwonted which now came from him.
Thou shalt be free, as mountain winds, but then do exactly to all points of my command.
To the syllable.
Come, follow.
Beseech you, sir, be merry. You have cause. So have we all. Of joy, for our escape is much beyond our loss. Then wisely, good sir, weigh our sorrow with our comfort.
Prithee, peace!
It receives comfort like cold porridge.
Though this island seems to be desert, uninhabitable, and
Yes.
almost inaccessible,
Yet,
yet it is must needs of subtle, tender, and delicate temperance. The air breathes upon us here most sweetly. Here is everything advantageous to life.
True, save means to live.
of that there's none, or little.
How lush and lusty the grass looks. How green.
The ground indeed is tawny.
With an eye of green in it.
He misses not much.
No, but he doth but mistake the truth, totally.
But the rarity of it is, which is indeed almost beyond credit, that our garments, being as they were drenched in the sea, hold notwithstanding their freshness and glosses, being rather new dyed than stained with salt water.
If but one of his pockets could speak, would it not say he lies?
Aye, or falsely pocketed his report.
Methinks our garments are now as fresh as when we first put them on, as fresh as when we were at Tunis at the marriage of your daughter, who is now queen.
And the rarest that e'er came there.
Is not, sir, my doublet as fresh as the first day I wore it? I mean, in a sort.
That sword was well fished for.
When I wore it at your daughter's marriage.
You cram these words into mine ears against the stomach of my sense. Would I have never married my daughter there? For coming thence, my son is gone, my son is lost, and she too, who is far from Italy removed. I ne'er again shall see her. O thou mine heir of Naples and Milan, what strange fish hath made his meal on thee?
Sir, he may live. I saw him beat the surgeons under him and ride upon their backs. He trod the water, whose enmity he flung aside. His bold head bobbed the contentious waves, as he kept and oared himself with good arms. To the shore, I not doubt he came alive to land.
No, No, he's gone. It is foul weather. It is all good, sir. When you are cloudy,
Foul weather.
very foul. You are, gentlemen, a brave metal. You would lift the moon out of her sphere if she would continue it the next 5 weeks without changing.
We would so, and then go back foul.
Nay, good my lord, be not angry.
No, I warrant you, I will not adventure my instructions so weakly. Will you laugh me asleep? For I am very heavy.
Go sleep and hear us.
What? Also soon asleep? I wish mine eyes would with themselves shut up my thoughts. I find they are inclined to do so.
Please you, sir, do not omit the heavy offer of it. Seldom visit sorrow. When it doth, it is a comforter.
We too, my lord, will guard your persons while you take your rest, and watch your safety.
Thank you, wonders heavy.
What a strange drowsiness possesses them.
It's the quality of the climate.
Why doth it not then our eyelids sink? I feel myself not disposed to sleep.
Nor I. My spirits are nimble. They fell together, as by consent. They dropped as by a thunderstroke. What might, worthy Sebastian? Methinks I see it in thy face. But thou shouldest be. The occasion speaks thee, and my strong imagination sees a crown dropping upon thy head.
What? Art thou waking?
Do you not hear me speak?
I do, and surely it is a sleepy language thou speakest. What is it thou didst say? It is a strange repose to be standing with wide eyes open and fast asleep.
Noble Sebastian, thou lets thy fortune sleep. Die, rather, while thou art waking.
Thou dost snores distinctly.
I am more serious than my customs. You must be so too.
Well, I am standing water.
I'll teach you how to flow.
Do so. To ebb. Hereditary sloth instructs me.
Oh, if you but knew how you the purpose cherish while thus you mock it.
For thee, say on.
Thus, sir, the king, his son's alive. 'Tis as impossible that he is undrowned as he who sleeps here swims.
I have no hope that he's undrowned.
Oh, out of that no hope, what great hope you have! Do you grant with me that Ferdinand is drowned?
He's gone.
Let Sebastian wake. Oh, for the mind that I do. But I sleep with this for your advancement. Do you understand me?
Methinks I do.
And how does your content tend to your own good fortune?
I remember you did supplant your brother Prospero.
True, and look how well my garment sits upon me, much feeder than before. My brother's servants were then my fellows, now they are my men.
But for your conscience.
Aye, sir, where lies that? I feel not this deity in my bosom. Here lies your brother, no better than the earth he lies upon, whom I, with this obedient steel, 3 inches of it, can lay to bed forever. For all the rest, they'll take suggestions as a cat laps milk.
I'll come by Milan, draw thy sword, free thee from thy tribute, and I, the king, shall love thee.
Draw together, and when I rear my hand, do you the like to fall on Gonzalo?
My master through his art foresees the danger that you, his friend, are in, for else his project dies, to keep them living. While you here do snoring lie, open thy conspiracy, his time doth take. If of life you keep a care, shake off slumber and beware. Awake, awake, then let us both be sudden.
No, good angels, preserve the king!
Why, how now? Ho, awake!
Why are you drawn? What's the matter?
Whilst we stood here, we heard a hollow bellowing burst like bulls, or rather lions. Did not wake you? It struck mine ear most terribly.
I heard nothing. Oh, 'twas a din to fright a monster's ear, to make an earthquake. Surely it was the roar of a whole herd of lions.
Heard you this, Gonzalo? Upon my honor, sir, I heard a humming. And that a strange one, too. Which did awake me? I shake you, sir, and cried. As my eyes opened, I saw their weapons drawn. That's barely. 'Tis best we stand upon our guard. Oh, that we quit this place. Let's draw our weapons.
Lead away, and let's make further search for my poor son.
Heavens keep him from these beasts, for he is sure I the island.
Lead away.
Prospero, my lord, shall know what I have done, so king, go safely to seek on thy son.
All the infections that the sun sucks up from bogs, fens, flats, on prospered fall, and making my inch meal a disease. His spirits hear me, and yet I needs must curse. But though nor pinch, fright me with urchin shows, pitch me in the mire, nor lead me like a firebrand in the dark. Out of my way, unless he bid 'em. But for every trifle are they set upon me. Sometime am I all wound with adders, who with cloven tongues do hiss me into madness. Lo now, lo, here comes a spirit of his, and to torment me, for bringing wood in slowly. Off I'll pluck flat, perchance he will not mind me.
Here's another storm brewing. I hear it sing in the wind. Yon same black cloud, yon huge one, looks like a foul bombard. If it should thunder as it did before, I know not where to hide my head. Yon same cloud could not choose but fall by pailfuls. What have we here? A man or a fish? Dead or alive? A fish. He smells like a fish. A very ancient and fish-like smell. A kind out of the newest Poor John. A strange fish. This is no fish, but an islander that has lately suffered from a thunderstroke. Alas, the storm has come again. My best ways to creep under is gabardine. There is no other shelter hereabouts. Misery acquaints a man with strange bedfellows. I shall here shroud my head till the dregs of the storm be past.
I shall no more to sea, here shall I die ashore. This is a very scurvy tune to play the man's funeral. The master, the swabber, the boatswain, and I, the gunner and his mates, love Moll, Meg, Marion, and Marjorie. But none of us cared for Kate.
Do not torment me. Oh!
What's the matter? Have we devils here? I've met Scape John to be afraid of your forelegs.
The spirit torments me. Oh!
This is some monster of the eye with 4 legs. Hath got, if they take it, an egg, or the devil shall learn our language.
Do not torment me, prithee. I'll bring my wood home faster.
He's in his spirit right now, and does not talk after the wisest.
Thou dost me yet but little hurt. Thou wilt anon. I know it by thy trembling. Now prosper works upon thee.
I can tell you, and that soundly, you cannot tell who's your friend.
I should know that voice. It should be, but he is drowned, and these are devils. Oh, defend me.
4 legs and 2 voices, a most delicate monster. His forward voice is to speak well of his friend, and his backward voice is to utter vowel speeches, and to detract.
Stephano.
Doth thy mouth call me? Mercy, mercy, this is a devil and a monster. I will leave him.
Stephano. Thou be Stephano, touch me and speak to me, for I am Trinculo. Be not afeard, thy good friend Trinculo.
If thou be'st Trinculo, come forth. I'll pull thee by the lesser legs. If any legs be Trinculos, these be they. Thou art very Trinculo indeed. How comes to be the citizen's mooncalf?
I took him to be killed with a thunderstroke. But art thou not drowned, Stephano? I hope now thou art not drowned. Is a storm overblown? I hid me under the said mooncalf's gabardine for fear of the storm. Art thou living, Stephano? Oh, Stephano, tune me at Paulus and Skate.
Prithee, do not turn me about. My stomach is not constant.
These be fine things, and if they're not sprites, that's a brave God. I will kneel to him.
How dost thou escape? How camest thou hither? I escaped upon a butt of sack when the sailors heaved overboard.
I'll swear to be thy true subject.
Swear how thou escapest.
I swim ashore, man, like a duck. I can swim like a duck. I'll be sworn.
Thou can't swim like a duck. Thou art made like a goose.
Oh, Stephano.
How now, mooncalf? How is this thine egg?
Hast thou not dropped from heaven?
Out of the moon I do assure thee. I was the man if the moontime was.
I have seen thee in her, and I do adore thee.
Come, swear to that.
By this good light, this is a very shallow monster. I, afeard of him, a most weak monster. The man of the moon, a most poor, credulous monster. Well-drawn monster, in good sooth.
Come on then, down and swear.
I'll kiss thy foot. I'll swear myself thy true subject.
A most perfidious monster.
Come, kiss.
I'll show thee every fertile inch of the island. I'll get thee berries, fish for thee, and get thee wood enough within. A plague upon the tyrant that I serve. I'll bear him no more sticks, but follow thee, thou wondrous man.
I shall laugh myself to death at this puppy-headed monster, a most scurvy monster.
Let me bring thee where the crabs grow. And with my long nails will dig thee pig nuts, show thee a jay's nest, and instruct thee how to snare the nimble marmoset. Wilt thou go with me?
I prithee now, lead the way without any more talking. Trinculo, the king in our company else being drowned, we will inherit here.
Farewell, master, farewell, farewell.
A howling monster, a foolish monster.
No more dams I'll make for fish, nor fetching firing at requiring, nor scrape trencher or wash dish. Ban, ban to Caliban. Got a new master, get a new man. Hey, freedom, freedom, hey, freedom, freedom.
Oh, brave monster, lead the way.
There be some sports are painful. There be some sports are painful, some kind of baseness are nobly undergone, and most poor matters point to rich ends. This, my mean task, will be as heavy to me as odious, but the mistress which I serve quickens footstead, and makes my labors pleasures. Oh, she is 10 times more gentle than her father's crabbed, and he's composed of harshness. I must remove some thousands of these logs, and pile them up. My sweet mistress weeps when she sees me work, and says such baseness. Had never like executor, I forget, but these sweet thoughts do even refresh my labors when I do it.
Alas now, pray you, work not so hard. I would the lightning had burnt up these logs that you are enjoined to pile. Pray, set it down and rest you. My father's hard at study now. Pray, rest yourself. He's safe for these 3 hours.
My most dear mistress, the sun will set before I shall discharge.
If you'll sit down, I'll bear your logs the while. Pray, give me that. I'll carry it to the pile.
No, creature, I'd rather crack my sinews, break my back, than you should such dishonor undergo while I sit lazy by.
It would become me as well as it does you, and I should do it with much more ease, for my good will is to it, and yours it is against.
Poor worm, thou art infected. This visitation shows it.
You look wearily.
No, noble creature, 'tis fresh morning with me when you are by at night. I do beseech you, chiefly that I might set it in my prayers. What is your name?
Miranda. Oh, my dear father, I have broke your hest to say so.
Admired Miranda, indeed, the top of admiration, worth what steers to the world, for several virtues, had I like several women, never any was so fun soul, but some defect in her, did quarrel with the noblest grace she owed, and put it to foil. But you, oh you, so perfect and so peerless, are created every creature's best.
I do not know what of my sex no woman's face remember, save from my glass mine own. Nor have I seen more that I may call men than you, good friend, and my dear father. How features are abroad, I am skilless of. But I do not wish any companion in the world but you, nor can imagination form a shape besides yourself to like of. But I prattle something too wildly, and my father's precepts I therein do forget.
I am in my condition, a prince, Miranda, I do think a king. Hear my soul speak? The very instant I did saw you, did my heart fly to your service. There resides and make me slave to it. And for your sake, I am this patient log man.
Do you love me?
O heaven, O earth, bear witness to this sound, and crown what I profess with kind event. If I speak true, I, beyond all limit of what else, I, the world, do love, prize, honor you.
I am a fool to weep at what I am glad of.
Fair encounter of two most rare affections. Heavens rain grace on that which breathes between them.
Wherefore weep you?
At my affections that dare not offer what I desire to give, much less what I shall die to take. But this is trifling. All the more it seeks to hide itself, bigger bulk it shows. Hence bashful cunning, and prompt me, plain and holy innocence. I am your wife if you will have me.
my mistress, dearest, and I thus humble ever.
My husband, then?
I, with a heart as willing as bondage, ear of freedom, here is my hand.
And mine, with my heart in it. And now, farewell till half an hour hence. 1,000,000!
1,000,000!
1,000,000!
1,000,000!
1,000,000!
1,000,000!
So glad of this, as late I cannot be. We were surprised withal, but at my rejoicing nothing more can be. I'll to my book, for yet ere supper time I must perform much business appertaining.
Monster, the folly of this island. They say there are but 5 upon this isle. We are but 3 of them. If the other 2 be brain like us, this state totters.
Servant monster, thy eyes are must set in thy head.
Where should they be set else? He were a brave monster if they were set in his tail.
My man monster, the sea cannot drown me. I swam, ere I could recover the shore by having 30 leagues off and on. Thou shalt be my lieutenant, monster, or my standard.
Your lieutenant, if you list, he's no standard.
Will not run me as your monster.
Nor go neither, but you'll lie like dogs, yet say nothing neither.
Mooncalf, speak once in thy life, if thou be'st a good mooncalf.
How does thine honor? Let me lick thy shoe. I'll not serve him. He's not valiant.
Thou liest, most ignorant monster, why thy debauched fish thou? Wilt thou tell a monstrous lie, being but half fish and half monster?
Lo, how he mocks me. Wilt thou let him, my lord?
Lord, quoth he, that a monster should be such a natural.
Lo, lo again. Bite him to death, I prithee.
Tranquilo, keep a good tongue in your head. If you prove him not near the next tree, the poor monster's my subject, and he should not suffer indignity.
I thank my noble lord. Wilt thou be pleased to hearken once again to the suit I made thee?
Marry, kneel, and repeat. I will stand, and so shall Tranquilo.
I am subject to a tyrant, a sorcerer, that by his cunning hath cheated me of the isle.
Thou liest!
Thou liest, thou jesting monkey, thou! I would my valiant master would destroy thee. I do not lie.
Tranquilo, trouble the monster one word further, and by this hand I will supplet some of your teeth.
Why, I said nothing.
Month then, and no more. Proceed.
By sorcery he got this isle, and from me he got it. If thou wilt revenge it on him, for I know thou darest.
That's most certain.
Thou shalt be lord of it, and I shall serve thee.
How thou shalt be compassed?
My lord, I'll yield him thee asleep, where thou mayst knock a nail into his beam.
Thou liest! Thou canst not!
What a pied ninny's this, thou scurvy patch? I do beseech thy greatness, give him blows. He'll not drink but brine, for I'll not show him where the quick freshes are.
Tranquilo, run to no further danger. And up the monster one word further, and by this hand I will to mercy on our doors and make a stockfish of thee.
Why, what did I? I did nothing. I'll go farther off.
This did not say he lied?
Thou liest!
Do I so? Take thou that. As you like this, give me the lie another time.
I did not give the lie. Out of your wits and bearings too. A pox on your monster. Make the devils take your fingers.
Now, forward with your tail. Prithee, stand farther off.
Beat him enough. After a little time, I'll beat him too.
Stand farther. Proceed.
As I said before, 'tis a custom with him, in the afternoon, to sleep, where thou mayst brain him, having first seized his books, or with a log batter his skull, or paunch him with a stake, or cut his weasand with a knife. Remember first to possess his books, for without them he is but a sot, as am I, nor hath not one spirit to command, for y'all hate him as rootedly as I.
Monster, I will kill this man, and means to go to be viceroys. Dost thou like the plan, Tranquilo?
Excellent.
Give me thy hand. I am sorry I beat thee. While thou livest, keep a good tongue in your head.
Within this half hour he will be asleep,
Wilt thou destroy him then?
Aye, on my honor.
This I will tell my master. Thou makest me merry. I am full of pleasure. Wilt thou troll the catch you taught me while here?
At thy request, monster, I will do reason, any reason. Come on, Chiquilo, let us sing.
Flout 'em and scout 'em.
Scout 'em and flout 'em. That is free.
That's not the tune.
What is this saying?
This is the picture that what?
Art thou afeard?
No, monster, not I.
Be not afeard. The island is full of noises, sounds and sweet airs that give delight and hurt not. Sometimes 1,000 twangling instruments hum in mine ears, or voices that if I had waked from a long sleep would make me sleep again.
This shall prove a brave kingdom to me, where I shall make music play for nothing.
When Prospero is destroyed,
that shall be by and by. I do remember the story.
The music is going away. Let's follow it and later do our work.
Lead, monster. We'll follow. I can see the tabor. He lays on it.
Wilt come? I'll follow Stefano.
By Larkin, sir. I can go no further. My old bones ache. Here's a maze trod me. By your patience, I must rest me.
O Lord, I cannot blame thee, who am myself attached with weariness to the dulling of my spirits. Sit down and rest. Even here I will put off my hope and keep it no longer.
I am right glad that he is so out of hope. Do not, for one repulse, forego the purpose that you resolve to effect.
The next advantage we'll take thoroughly.
Let it be tonight. For now, they are pressed with travel. They will not, nor cannot, use such vigilance as when they are fresh.
I say tonight, no more.
What harmony is this, my good friends? Hark!
Marvelous sweet music.
Give us kind keepers. What were these?
Living drollery. Probably they're unicorns. And afraid the other's one tree. The phoenix throne, one phoenix reigning there.
All believe both. All sworn 'tis true, travelers near did lie. Though fools at home condemn them.
If in Naples, should I report this now? Would they believe me? If I were to say I'd seen such islanders, yet though they are of monster shape, yet note, their manners more gentle kind than of our human generation, you shall find many. Nay, almost any.
Honest Lord, thou hast said well, for some of you there present are worse than devils.
I cannot too much muse. Such shape, such gesture, and such sound, expressing, although they want the use of tongue, a kind of excellent dumb discourse.
Praise in departing.
They vanish strangely.
No matter since, they have left their vines behind. Shall we taste of what is here?
Not I.
Faith, sir, you need not fear.
You are men of sin, whom destiny that hath to instrument this little world, and what is in it, hath caused to belch up you, and on this island where men doth not inhabit, amongst you men being most unfit to live. I have made you mad, and even with the such like valor, men hang and drown their proper selves.
You fools! I and my fellows are ministers of faith. The elements of whom your swords are tempered may as well wound the loud winds or the beckoning that stabs. Kill the still closing waters as diminished, like one dowel for my plume. My fellow ministers are like invulnerable, if you could hurt. Your swords are now too massive for your shanks and will not be uplifted. But remember, my business to you, you all from Milan did supplant good Prospero, expose him to the sea, which hath requited him and his innocent child.
For which foul deed, the powers delaying, not forgetting, have incensed the seas and shores. Yea, all creatures are against your peace. Thee of thy son, Alonso, they have bereft and do pronounce by me. Lingering perdition, worse than any death, can be at once, and shall step by step attend you in your ways, whose wrath to guard you from, which here,
In this most desolate isle, else fails upon heads, and is nothing but heart sorrow and a clear life ensuing.
Bravely the figure of this harpy hast thou performed, my Ariel, a grace it had, devouring. Of my instruction hast thou nothing bated in what thou hadst to say. So, with good life and strange observation, my meaner ministers, their several kinds done, my charms work, and these mine enemies are all distracted. There are now in my power, and in these fits I leave them, while I visit young Ferdinand, whom they suppose is drowned, and his and mine love darling.
Oh, it is monstrous, monstrous. Methought the billows spoke and told me of it. The winds did sing it to me, and the thunder, that deep and dreadful organ pipe, pronounced the name of Prosper. It did base my trespass. Therefore, my son in the ooze is bedded, and I'll seek him deeper than air plummet sounded, and with him there lie mudded.
I'll fight their legions o'er, one fiend at a time.
I'll be thy second.
All three of them are desperate. Their great guilt given like poison to work a great time after. Like gins to bite the spirits, I do beseech you that there are suppler joints. Follow them swiftly and hinder them from when this ecstasy may not provoke them to.
I have too austerely punished you. Your compension makes amends, for I have here given you a third of mine own life. And once again I tender thy hand. All vexations were but trials of thy love, and thou hast strangely stood the test. Here, before heaven, I ratify this as my rich gift.
I do believe it, against an oracle.
Then, as my gift and thine own acquisition, worthily purchased, take my daughter. Sit then and talk with her. She is thine own. What Ariel, my industrious servant Ariel?
What would my potent master? Here I am.
Thou and thy meaner fellows last service did worthily perform, and I must use you in such another trick. Go bring the rabble, or whom I give power to this place. Incite them to quick motion. Presently, I with twink.
Before you can say come and go, and breathe twice and cry so, each one grip on his toe. We'll be here with Ma and Mo. Do you love me, master? No?
Dearly, my delicate Ariel, do not approach till thou dost hear me call.
Well, I can see.
Let me live here ever, so rare a wondered father and a wife. Make this place paradise.
Sweet now, silence. I have forgotten that foul conspiracy of Caliban and his confederates against my life, and the minute of their plot is almost come.
This is strange. Your father's in some passion that works him strongly.
Never till this day saw I him touched with such an anger so distempered.
You do look, my son, in a moved sort, as if you were dismayed. Be cheerful. Our revels now are ended. We are such stuff as dreams are made of, and our little life is rounded with sleep. Sir, I am vexed. Bear with me my weakness. My brain is troubled. Be not disturbed with my infirmity. If thou be pleased, retire unto my cell, or turn you to a walk, to still my beating mind.
We wish your peace.
Come with a thought, I thank thee, Arrow. Come.
Thoughts I cleave to. What's thy pleasure?
Spirit, we must prepare to meet with Caliban.
Aye, my commander. I thought to have told thee of it, but I feared lest I might anger thee.
Say again, will thou didst leave these varlets?
I told you, sir. They were so full of valor that they smote the air for breathing in their faces, beat the ground for the kissing of their feet. Then I beat my tabor, and like unbacked colts, they pricked up their ears, advanced their eyelids, and lifted up their noses as they smelt music. I, the filthy mantled pool beyond your cell, they are dancing up to the chins, and at the foul lake oars stunk their feet.
This is well done, my bird. Thy shape invisible thou still retain. The trumpery in my house, bring it hither, for still to catch these thieves.
I go.
A devil, a born devil, on whom nature can never stay, on whom I pains, humanly taken, all lost, quite lost.
Tread softly, that the blind mole may not hear a footfall. We are now near the mouth of the cell.
Monster, your fairy has been little better than the painted jack with us.
Monster, I smell all horse piss, at which my nose is at great indignation.
So does mine. Do you hear, monster? If I take a displeasure against you, look you.
Thou art but a lost monster.
Good, my lord, give me thy favor still. Be patient, for the prize I will bring thee to shall hoodwink this mischance. Therefore speak softly, prithee my king. Seest thou here, there is the mouth of the cell. No noise, and enter, and do thy good mischief, that may make this island thy known forever. And I thy caleban, for I thy footlicker.
I do begin to have bloody thoughts.
O King Stephano, O peer, O worthy Stephano, look at what a wardrobe they have for thee.
Let it alone, thou fool, it is but trash.
Oh ho, monster, we know it belongs to frippery. O King Stephano.
Chiquila, pull up that cloth. By this hand, I'll have that cloth.
Thy grace shall have it.
The dropsy drown these fools. And what do you mean to dote on such luggage? And let's alone do the murder first. If he shall wake, he'll fill our skins from toe to crown with pinches and make us strange stuff.
Be you quiet, monster. Mistress Line, is this not my jerkin?
Do, monster. We steal by line and level. Ain't like your grace.
I think before the jest, here's a look at my fort, which shall not go unrewarded while I am king of this country. Still by line and level is the excellent passive pate.
Monster, come, put some lime upon your fingers, and away with the rest.
I shall have none on't. We shall lose our time, and be turned to barnacles, or to apes, with foreheads villainous low.
Master, Lady Fig is enough to bear this away, or I will treat you of my kingdom. Go to, carry this.
And this.
I am this.
Silver, there it goes, silver.
Fury, fury, there, tyrants, there, hark, hark. Go charge my goblins that they grind their joints with dried convulsions, shorten up their sinews with aged cramps, and make them more pinch-spotted than Pard or Cattle Mountain.
Hark, they roar.
Let them be hunted soundly. Lie at my mercy, all mine enemies. Shortly shall all my labors end, and thou shalt have the air at freedom. For a little, follow, and do me service. Now does my project gather to a head. My charms crack not, my spirits obey, and time goes upright with his carriage. How's the day?
At the 6th hour, at which time, my lord, you said our work should cease.
I did say so when first I raised the Tempest. Say, my spirit, how fares the kings and followers?
Confined together, in the same fashion that you gave charge, just as you left them. All prisoners, sir, in the inland grove in which weather fends your cell. They cannot budge till your release. The king, his brother, and yours abide all three distracted, and the rest mourning over them, brimful of sorrow and dismay, but chiefly, in that you term, sir, the good old Lord Gonzalo. Tears run down his beard like winter's drops from eaves of reeds. Your charm so strongly works them, that if you now beheld them, your affections would become tender.
Dost thou think so, spirit?
Mine would, sir, were I human.
And mine shall. Hast thou, which art but air, a touch, a feeling of their afflictions? And shall not myself, one of their kind, that relish all as sharply, passion as they, be kindlier moved than thou art?
I'll fetch them, sir.
I have bedimmed the noontide sun, called forth the mutinous winds, and twixt the green sea and the azure vault set roaring war. I've given fire to the dread rattling thunder, and rifted Jove's stout oak with his own bowl, and by the spurs plucked up the pine and cedar. Graves, at my command, have waked their sleepers, oaked, and led 'em forth by my so potent art. But this rough magic I here abjure to, work mine end upon their senses that this airy charm is for. I'll break my staff, bury it in certain fathoms in the earth, and deeper than did ever plummet sound, I'll draw in my book.
To solemn air and best comfort, to an unsettled fancy cure thy brains, now useless, boiled within thy skull, for you are still stopped. Holy Gonzalo, honorable man, mine eyes even sociable to the show of thine, fall billowly drops. The charm dissolves apiece, as the morning steals upon the night, melting their darkness. O good Gonzalo, my true preserver and most loyal sir, I will pay thy graces both in word and in deed. Most cruelly didst thou, Alonso, use me and my daughter. Thy brother was further in the act. Thou art pinched foot now, Sebastian, flesh and blood, who, with brother mine, entertained ambition, expelled remorse in nature, and who with Sebastian, whose inward pinches therefore are most strong, would have here killed your king. I do forgive thee. Unnatural though thou art, their understanding begins to swell, as the tide will shortly fill the reasonable shore that now lies foul and muddy. Not one that looks on me, or would yet know me. Ariel, bring me my hat and rapier myself. I will discase me and myself present, as I was some time in Milan. Quickly now, spirit, thou shalt ere long be free. Where the bee sucks, there suck I, in a cowslip's bell I lie. When I couch, owls do cry, on the bat's back I do fly. After summer merrily, 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 shall I live now, under the blossom that hangs on the bough. Why, that's my dainty Ariel, I shall miss thee, but thou shalt have freedom. So. To the king's ship, invisible as thou art, thou shalt find the mariners under the hatches asleep. The boatswain and master, being awake, incite them to this place. I drink the air before me, and return, or ere your pulse twice beat.
All torment, trouble, wonder, and amazement inhabits here. Some heavenly power guides us out of this fearful country.
Behold, Sir King, the wrong Duke of Milan, Prospero, for more assurance that a living prince does now speak to thee. I embrace thy body, and to thee and thy company I bid a hearty welcome.
Whether thou beest he or no, or some enchanted trifle to abuse me, as late as I have been, I not know. Thy pulse beats as of flesh and blood, and since I saw thee, the affliction of my mind immense, with which I fear a madness held me. And if this be at all a most strange story, thy dukedom I resign, and do entreat, thou pardon me my wrongs. But how should Prospero be living, and be here?
First, noble friend, let me embrace thine age, whose honor and measure cannot be confined.
Where did this be? Or be not? I'll not swear.
You do yet taste some subtleties of the isle that will not let you believe things certain. Welcome, my friends all.
But for you, my brace of lords, were I so minded, I could here pluck his highness's frown upon you, and justify you as traitors. At this time, I will tell no tales.
The devil speaks in him.
No, for you, most wicked sir, whom to call brother would infect my mouth, I do forgive. Thy rankest fault of them all, which requite my dukedom of thee, which, perforce, I know, thou must restore.
If thou beest Prospero, give us particulars of thy preservation, how thou hast met us here, who 3 hours since were wrecked upon the shore, where I have lost my dear son, Ferdinand.
I'm woe for it, sir.
Irreparable is the loss, and patience says it is past her cure.
I'd rather think you have not sought her help, of whose soft grace have I sovereign her aid, and now rest myself content.
You the like loss?
I have means much weaker to call comfort upon you, for I have lost my daughter.
A daughter? Oh heavens, that they were both living in Naples, the king and queen there. That they were, I wish myself were mudded in that oozy bed where my son lies. When did you lose your daughter?
In this last tempest, know for certain that I am Prospero, the very Duke, thrust forth in Milan, who happened strangely upon the shore where you were wrecked. To be the Lord Aunt. Welcome, sir. This sells my court. Here have I few attendants and subjects. My dukedom, since you've given me again, I will requite you with such a good thing. These bring forth a wonder to content you as much as me, my dukedom.
Sweet lord, you play me false.
No, dearest love, I would not for the world.
Yes, for a score of kingdoms you should wrangle, and I would call it fair play.
If this prove a vision of the island, one dear son shall I twice lose.
A most high miracle.
Though the seas are threatened, they are merciful. I have cursed them without cause.
Now all the blessings of a glad father compass thee about. Arise, and say how camest thou about?
Oh, wonder! How many goodly creatures are there here? How beauteous mankind is! Oh, brave new world that has such creatures in it!
'Tis new to thee.
What is this maid with whom wast at play? Your eldest acquaintance cannot be 3 hours. Is she the goddess that has severed us and brought us thus together?
Sir, she is mortal, but by immortal providence, she is mine. She is daughter to this famous Duke of Milan, of whom so often I have heard renowned, but never did saw, to whom I received a second life and a second father. This lady makes him to me.
I am hers? But oh, how oddly it must sound that I must ask my child forgiveness.
There, sir, stop. Let us not burthen our remembrance with a heaviness that's gone.
I have inly wept, or should spoke to this. Look down, you God, and on this couple drop a blessed crown. For it is you that have chalked forth the way which brought us hither.
I say amen, Gonzalo.
Was Milan thrust from Milan, that his issue should rejoice and become king of Naples? Oh, rejoice beyond a common joy, and set it out with gold on lasting pillars.
Give me your hands. Let grief and sorrow still embrace his heart that doth not wish you joy.
Be it so. Amen. Oh, look, sir. Oh, look, sir. Here is more of us. Hast thou no mouth by land? What is the news?
The best news is that we have safely found your king and company. The next, our ship, which but 3 glasses since gave out split, is tight, yare, and bravely rigged as when we first put out to sea.
Sir, all the service have I done since I went. This was well done. Thou shalt ere long be free.
These are not natural events. They strengthen from strange to stranger. Say, how came you hither?
If I did think, sir, I were well awake. I've tried to tell you, but we were dead asleep, and how we know not, all clapped under hatches, were strange and several noises, of roaring, shrieking, howling, and jingling chains, and more diversity of sounds, all horrible. We were awaked, straightway at liberty, where we in all her trim, fresh to beheld, our royal good and gallant ship, our master. Capering eye to eye her, we were then divided and brought moping hither.
Wast well done? Bravely, my diligence, thou shalt ere long be free.
This is as strange a maze as airmen trod, and there is in this business more than nature was ever conduct of. Some oracle must rectify our knowledge.
There, sir, stop. Let us not burthen our remembrance with a heaviness that's gone. Single our resolve you, which shall be shortly, which each of these happy accidents shall seem probable to you. Tell one, be cheerful, and think of each thing well. Come hither, spirit, set Caliban and his companions free, untie the spell. How fares my gracious sir? A few lads are missing of your company.
Every man shift for all the rest, and let no man take care of himself for all the fortune. Coraggio, bully monster, coraggio.
If these be true spies, which I wear upon my head, this be a goodly sight. How brave these spirits! How fine my master is! I'm afraid he will chastise me.
Aha, what things have we here, my Lord Antonio?
Very light. One of them is a plain fish. Mark but the badges of these men, my lord, and then say if they be true. This misshapen knave, his mother was a witch. These three have robbed me, and this demi-devil with them plotted to take my life. Two of these men you must know and own. This thing of darkness, acknowledge mine.
I shall be pinched to death.
Is this not Stefano, my butler? And Trinculo is reeling right. How camest thou in this pickle?
I've been in such a pickle since I saw you last that I fear me will never be out of my bones.
Why, how now, Stefano?
Don't touch me, Nodford. I'm not Stefano, but a cramp.
You'll be king o' the isle, sirrah?
I must have been a sore one then.
This is as strange a thing as e'er I looked on.
He is disproportioned in his shape as he is in his manners. Go, to myself, take with you your companions, and have my partner. Trim it handsomely.
Aye, that I will, and I will be wise hereafter, and seek for grace. What a thrice double ask was I to take this drunkard for a god, and worship this dull fool.
Hence, and bestow your luggage where you found it.
Or stole it, rather.
Sir, my liege, I invite you and your train unto myself, where for one night you shall take rest. And part of it I shall waste with the discourse as the story of my life, and the particular accidents gone by since I came to this island. And then in the morning I shall take you to your ships, where we shall leave to Milan, where I hope to see our dearly beloved solemnized, and thence retire me to my Milan.
I long to hear the story of your life, which must take the ear strangely.
I'll deliver all, and promise you calm seas, auspicious gales, and sail so expeditious that it shall take your royal feet far off. Ariel, this is thy charge. Then, to the elements. Be free, and fare thou well. My charms are all o'erthrown, and what strength I has mine own, which is faint now, 'tis true, but I must be here, confined by you, or sent to Naples. Let me not, since I have my dukedom got, and pardon the deceiver dwell in this island by your spell.
But release me from my bands with the help of your good hands, and gentle breath of my good sails, which was to please.
Now I want spirits to enforce, art to enchant, and my ending is despair, unless I be relieved by prayer, which pierces so that it assaults, mercy itself, and frees all faults.
As you from crimes would pardon be, let your indulgence set me free.
We'd like to give thanks to our extraordinary director, Andrew Acevedo, for opening our eyes to a new experience. He has really encouraged us and built up our confidence by helping us get over stage fright, slowing down on lines, and teaching us the mystifying language of Shakespeare.
We would also like to give thanks to our remarkable stage manager, Kaylee Davis, who has stood by us and kept calm even when there were perplexing mix-ups with scenery and props. She has taught us about being more open with our posture and movement, and always was there when we needed her. Thank you. Thank you, parents, for
doubling as taxi drivers and helping us make a commitment. As Shakespeare would say, parting is such a sweet sorrow
that I shall say goodnight till it be morrow.
Thank you so much for coming.
We hope you enjoyed the show.